Welcome, everybody. We've got the second round for Dark and for Viper. And if you would have predicted things coming into this, you would not have predicted things to look like this. Whoops. That is not what we wanted. Well, there you go, guys. We got all the groups. What on earth did I just do? We didn't do a test on something, and we tried to fix something, and that's probably very overwhelming. So basically what you need to know is that Viper got one win in his first round. He lost to Vivi. First time that he lost a series to Vivi in his whole career, and they both had very long careers. He's got one win after the first round. And then Dark, he has 0 wins after the first round. But they played each other in the previous season, and Dark beat Viper 2-1. I just showed a video of Dark dancing to the stream. People are going to feel like that's weird if they haven't seen it, but he's a professional dancer. I think he's been back at it. He's been doing some training there, so maybe he's less active with AoE too. But he came forward nice and early here with his scout. He's gone for Armenians. I think he wanted to potentially lame Viper there, but he saw Viper's scout, and he didn't trust himself to try and take the boar. So it was a nice attempt. Now Dark will come home, choose to push in the deer. Now, this matchup, guys, is just horrible for the Armenians long-term. I don't think Dark has picked this civilization because of the late-game strengths of Armenians. And on this map, Corey, it does typically turn into some walls between the openings. And because both player bases are kind of elevated, it's a very good defensive-style map. So I think right off the bat here, Viper's going to say, I need to survive to Imp, and if I survive to Imp, I win this. Armenians really struggle in Imp. Their siege is awkward. Their unit choices are awkward, but what they're good at is warrior priests, monks, and long swords and feudal age is a bonus we see more often than not in tournaments. So I think Dark, that's why he came home. He didn't want to lose his scout, because if you lose your scout and you don't get that boar, which could have easily happened if Viper blocked him, then you don't have the food to do any of the things I just mentioned, because you can't push your deer. So he's already got villagers on the mule cart. I'm wondering if Dark sees that boar back there. Looks like he should be able to. But Dark will take the deer now. But yeah, guys, I find Dark such an interesting player mentally. Just the difference in how we view things and react to stress in the game is just so very different. I teamed with him in a 2v2 tournament. One's in chat if you watch those uploads. It was such a fun time. And Dark admitted later, he was like, honestly, I didn't think we would go very far with you, basically. He just wanted to do it for fun because he couldn't find another teammate. But we ended up getting to the finals, eventually losing in the finals. But it's just so funny, right? Because, I'm 33 years old. He's 20 now, I think. And the way that we would both respond to the stress in the game is just so very different. He's just so cool, calm, and relaxed. And very confident as well. And confident when I would look at this situation and say, how could you be, right? How can you be confident? X, Y, and Z has happened. He's always got that confident outlook. And that can take him places. And that's what let him beat Viper last time. I do wonder where Viper's confidence levels are these days. I feel like Viper now maybe falls into the category where, he used to beat everybody. And now I think he understands he can be vulnerable. And I think a lot of it is just based on the first game. I really think if Viper's shaky in the first game, it might start to creep into his mind oh boy, I'm not sharper. Oh boy, they've got some strats. Okay, an important detail here that Dark should recognize if he knows the map. Berries are always forward. So he wants 2 militia, and he wants the scout to get some damage. If he's looking for the berries, he should know it's here. It's always fixed on the front. Viper does not see this. Viper is going to go feudal. If I had to guess, I would say Viper's plan is probably to go for Flemish Militia and Skirmishers. Viper's Loom time is actually going to come out at the perfect time. If there was a player that I would never drush, it would probably be Viper, because his quick walls are just insane to get himself out of trouble. But there are 2 villagers on this side. Nope, Viper fixes that. So that's what you want. You want the villagers evenly spaced, and Viper doesn't get the quick wall down. And so Dark could find some reward for the pressure. The 2 militia come from the darkness, and Dark starts off again in Titans League with a good start against Viper. That's 1 villager down for Viper. And the beauty for this as well for Dark is his eco is looking very nice to go feudal age right behind this. This is a perfect little 2 militia drush. He can drop off the food here and click up. That's perfect. Now I'm curious, does he go to the gold, and does he make more militia, and does he plan on man-at-arms? I would really like to see that. But yeah, the weakness of Dark's strategy would be if you don't have the fast feudal follow-up. But he's not far off here. And he was able to snipe the Vil, and he was able to harass. Still would expect Viper to be able to adapt from here. But I like the confidence from Dark, and the third militia is on the way. Dark's so confident he doesn't actually have Loom right now. So he's making all these militia instead of pre-queuing Loom. And I think he also wants Man-at-Arms, so there can be a cycle here where you just don't get Loom because you're committing to the army and you need to upgrade it. Viper's Scout could maybe find that militia. Viper's going to make his 2 Flemish militia. Dark could lose 2 villagers very quickly to Flemish militia with no Loom. He needs to queue Loom. There's the Flemish militia from Viper. Viper will know this will be Man-at-Arms. Still no archer range yet for Viper. Obviously, he's going to want that. He's hoping to clear this up. The Flemish militia produce very quickly here. Dark will need to run away. Dark not having Loom is not an issue. Guys, Dark's transitions are smooth right now. This is really nice. I'm really liking the way his eco looks. He would love to get the Man-at-Arm upgrade, though. If he were to lose this investment without any further reward, that could be really good for Viper. Viper only lost 1 villager. Viper's been doing a lot of reacting so far this game. 10 seconds away from the Man-at-Arm upgrade. There's 2 weak ones in there. All of Vipers are healthy. And Dark takes the fight before Man-at-Arms. That's, I think, good for Viper. But if he loses the Scout, that could be bad. And he doesn't lose the Scout. That's a nice clear for Viper. Very nice. And what's even better is Dark invested into Man-at-Arms. So he invested into Man-at-Arms. He didn't get a reward for that at all. And now Viper can move forward. Again, Dark doesn't have Loom. He's going to get Loom now. There's the archer range. He needs to drop houses and a palisade here. I think there's still a hole. Right? Yep. Okay, so now he's got the houses there. Remember, clock's ticking with the matchup. This is not a matchup that is good for Armenians. So the second the attacks start to fall off, the more worry creeps in. I think if Dark had it his way, he would have the resources to go for Longsword now. But he lost his army. He was forced to engage there. I think maybe a little bit more patience was needed there. If he would have ran away for another 5 seconds and then fought, maybe it's a better fight for him. But beautiful job from Viper. His economy's looking much better today. Bowsaw's already in. Horse collar's in for all the farms. Good army pressure. And Viper's got to be feeling very happy with the situation. Losing 1 villager in another scenario would feel much worse. Here, you're Burgundians, and you have the earlier eco upgrade, so that probably ends up evening out a little bit. And Dark just producing on 1 archer range. No barracks units anymore. Honestly, I think if Viper isn't here, I think there's an argument to make longswords again. Because Viper's making a lot of Flemish militia and skirmishers. But you don't want Viper to see it. And maybe by the time he deals with this army with skirmishers, it'll be too late. You do that and you'll never go in Castle Age. But do you want to go Castle Age in the matchup? I don't know. Viper dropping some walls, dropping the blacksmith here. Army's looping around. He's got a much bigger army, a much better army as well. Like the army count's not even close. It's 10-4 right now. And Flemish militia are very strong. And Viper has more ranged units than Dark, so Dark's... His micro has to be perfect, but his eco management also has to be perfect to compete here. Lucky number 7, welcome back. Biggie, Billy, Bobby, Bob, 89-month resub, guys. Thank you, Biggie, or Bobby, or Billy, or Bob. It's a long time. You've made me say that name 89 times now. And I don't think I've gotten much better at it. How many years is 89 months? That's crazy. Just thinking about the math on that. Viper with more army following up. Dark has his archers sitting behind. That's smart. If the Flemish militia get close, the archers will be there, and then the archers are out of range of Viper's skirms. Honestly, I think Dark has had a very nice game. But his civilization is just not a civilization you pick for the late game. So, still that's in the back of my mind. Interesting, he's got a mule cart just randomly walking over here. And he's actually building another mule cart. Viper's army's running around. There's a hole there, guys. There's a hole. Dark was never on the big wood line in the back, which is fine because you're on mule carts. But Viper's able to run through. Viper's going to be completely walled here. Normally, you don't want to throw your army away. Maybe you do in these scenarios if you get some eco damage. And Viper's got to be very happy with this. That's a lot of harassment for Dark to deal with and just inefficiencies. Dark's not on his gold right now. Lots of idle time. Dark's micro ends up being very nice here, though. He doesn't lose a Vil. Still has the skirm. Still has the archers back here. I think he will clear this, but at what cost? This is where you need the market. He'll do it now. You need the market because your eco's just been super imbalanced. Worker efficiency last minute, 54% for Dark. And 62% for Viper. So, and Viper will know that. And if Viper can get a villager as well, he'll be very happy. Should get one. And he does get one. Might even get two. Dark's archers still haven't killed that one Flemish militia. Viper will get another Vil. 2 villager kills for the Viper. Yeah, and you're never getting out of here with this army, so that's fine. That's really good work. Doesn't get the other one. But, yeah. Like we said, Viper's economy is actually very good today. He went for low eco approaches in the first round. He was on the back of being very sick. I also think it's just rusty Viper first round combined with that illness. They'll both click up to Castle Age. Viper's got the superior eco upgrades. And Viper has a really nice late game civ. On the sides, you have this long ring of, or not ring of reeds, but like line of reeds. And you could chop through here. And if you chop through, you could potentially counterattack. So maybe that's something that Dark will consider. I think mule cart civs could be good. But you can't build palisades over this. No, you'd have to actually fully chop the trees. Good question. In general, if trees are connected to another tree, so if they're connected to each other like this, you can't do the palisade trick with trees. I think there's more depth to it than that, but that's basically how you should view it. So since these trees are connected to each other, you can't do the tree trick. So Dark sells his stone to go up to Castle Age. He's now mining stone pretty heavily. That might just be to recover the stone that he sold. But what is the play here? What is the plan? Also, someone on YouTube chat is criticizing me. He says, 89-month sub just for a random thank you is crazy. Dude, the guy's been here for 89 months. He knows I need to cast the game. He knows I appreciate that. I can't, like, escalate the thank you for every sub when we've got a game in front of us. I mean, come on, man. Sheesh. Trying my best over here. Thank you, Brian, for the... Oh, my God. 47 months from Brian. Brian, let me spend the next 47 seconds talking about how grateful I am. Because that 47 is more than 30 we had earlier. So let me just... We're going to do a second of thank you for every single month. Come on, man. Please be understanding. I'm trying my best. I got one guy a little bit. I'm not trying to be a jerk. I agree. It's a long time. But I do appreciate it, you know? I got a little heated. I'm sorry. I need to be better. I agree. I need to be better. Viper needs to keep a close eye on the middle here. And Dark at least is recognizing that he needs something crazy, right? He's come to the middle. He's dropped the church. He's got Warrior Priest hoping to get the relics. Good luck with that one, though. Viper has that one walled. And Viper will see the Warrior Priest. Viper will see the Siege Workshop. Viper needs to prep to defend from this. I actually think full-on Warrior Priest and Siege is really strong. Guys, Warrior Priests are really, like, they're an insane unit. A Warrior Priest in Castle Age beats, I think, a champion. I believe it's a champion. You have 11 base attack. You have 80 HP. You don't need any upgrades to upgrade them like you would something else. Is Dark going fast imp here? I've spoke to Phosphor about it. I think it's maybe they beat a two-handed swordsman. Maybe they don't beat the champion, but it's really good. I think Dark is going to go fast imp Trebs. Honestly, it's good recognition of the matchup. Can I be critical of picking Armenians in the first place? Yeah. But, I mean, Viper is just now dropping the second town center. Viper is expecting full-on monk, so he's going to go light cap. If Dark drops a castle in the middle, Oh, man. Dark pulled off of stone. Okay, he's got it now. If Dark can get a castle up in the middle and it completes, a couple composite bowmen with trebuchets could be problematic for Viper. Dark had the archer over there. Viper snipes it. Over here, they both got range units as well, just seeing if the other's going to cut through. Viper is definitely expecting double monastery, lots of monks, lots of warrior priests, lots of pressure. That's not what's happening. Remember, do you guys remember the comeback from Winchester against, who was it? Leary in King of the Desert? The composite bowman is sneaky good in these low eco scenarios. It was against, I think Leary had a 30 or 40 villager lead. Viper only has a 4 villager lead. And that's a good castle spot, too. The fact that you could basically take this hill with trebuchets and come on through and hit both of Viper's town centers is really strong. Viper's never expecting this. Viper is expecting a monk rush. Viper will go for the mangonel. Viper will see the monk. Now Viper will see the castle. And now Viper's like, wait a second, a castle? Composite bowman? What is that? He will snipe one of them. That's good value from Viper. Good micro. Dark doesn't have anything more than fletching. And the mangonel survives, so Viper loses his whole army. And the mangonel's still there for Dark to potentially go after those skirms. Dark just does some wild things sometimes. This is an example of it. There is a Viper lumber camp over here. And, oh, Viper chopped through. Viper chopped through. Viper can go in the sides now. And now Viper's going to castle drop Dark. Does he have the army to protect this? Dude, that was so risky from Viper. He only has 7 villagers here. There's the mangonel right there. Viper's also still running through with the monks. Viper will see the mangonel. Dark with some big attack rounds. If Dark brings all of his composite bowmen here, he can deny this castle. This could be a doubt castle for Viper. Imp is still in 30 seconds for Dark, which means he could just trev this castle down. I don't think that castle for Viper is necessarily going to do a lot. He's microing the best that he can. Villagers get pulled to the side. Skirmishers are taking down the composite bowman. He takes down the mangonel. But this is quite the game here, guys. And Viper is bringing knights into the back. He's converting 2 villagers from Dark. Knights are going to be in Dark's eco. And Dark can't exactly get home. This chop from Viper is such a game changer. Him getting through the side is never something Dark was counting on. I think what Dark really needed was he needed to wall that. He completely forgot about that or just didn't expect Viper to go for it. This counter rate is crazy. Viper will be through. Viper's dropping a tower with the villagers he converted. And Dark is going to abandon his base with his villagers and go forward into Viper's base, where he will soon have a trebuchet that could take down Viper's town centers. Oh, man. It's all adaptations now. And on one hand, adaptations should be great for the Armenians because they have mule carts. On the other hand, adaptation's better for Viper because he's got the villager lead. Dark is also an imp, but you can't lose your army here, Dark. You can't lose your army. No, that's so rough for him. He could lose this trebuchet now. Every unit is so vulnerable. Or sorry, not, well, every unit is so vulnerable, but every unit is so important. Even just a couple composite bowmen going down here is painful. The thing is, the comp bowmen are cheap, and they should take down skirmishers and knights pretty quickly. But Dark does not have a very good economy right now. He barely has anything on gold. The castle from Viper denies the middle gold. It also takes away the relics. Dark wanted this gold again. He can't take down the tower, though. What a tower from Viper. Dark is going to instead just shift his focus, I guess, onto this castle, which gives Viper a lot of time. I feel like this is a small win for Viper. If his town centers were going down and his eco was getting hit, that would be horrible. Oh, and the trebuchet's weak, and Viper will come in with more cav. Viper's done such a good job. Honestly, the castle, not necessarily the game changer. The cut on the left side, that was the game changer. I think if he didn't have the pressure there, Dark could wall this out, and Dark could be taking down that castle. It's so cool, man. When we made Quarry, we wanted people to use the sides. It's kind of rare. Viper's got a really healthy economy behind this, guys. He'll spam more cav. There, he uses the skirmishers to snipe a monk after the monk converts the knight. And here he's got more units underneath the town center. Dark just can't keep up. Dark can't keep up. Dark cannot keep up. He doesn't notice it. Viper will build another castle in Dark's base next to the fortified church. The Dark is focusing all of his attention on trying to get another Treb and more composite bowmen out. Viper, 78 villagers, 16 military. It's only 42 villagers for Dark, and most of those villagers are hiding inside of churches and town centers. And Dark's barely dished out any damage against this castle. It's just so brutal for him. And this castle for Viper is going up. So then where do you go? Ideally, you would be able to have everything on gold and use the market. But you can't take this gold very easily because of Viper's castle. Again, the composite bowmen with Bracer are doing a very nice job. But Dark has to come this way. Dark has to farm underneath his castle. Pretty soon, that's the only safe eco he's going to have. Crazy play from Viper. Has it been the cleanest game ever from Viper? I would argue no. But that's a lot of because Dark's approach has just been completely unorthodox. I think it had some real potential here. But the chop through from Viper, like just finding counters on a map where it's usually, if you're playing it like everybody else, very difficult to do so. The Viper will die for the Trebs again to keep his castle up. His castle is going to stand. It goes down to 100 HP, and he actually brings the villagers over to repair it. He sacrificed his whole army for that. But it's so tough for Dark to get more Trebs out. And Viper will be happy to just delay the inevitable. Still add more economy at home. Still prep some skirmishers. Still kill villagers with the Coustilier. Dark's got nothing in his base anymore. Dark's eco is here, dude. Dark's whole eco is in the middle of the map. I can't be critical of the strat, though. Like, look how fast the skirms go down. These are fully armored skirms. But the armor doesn't matter against the composite bowman, right? If Dark was ever able to get to, like, 20 of these with a monk or two and a couple of Trebs, I think Viper's army could never win the game. But now Dark just can't get there. Like, his eco is just horrible because of the side castles and raids from Viper. So now it's a state where Viper's units can be worse, but he can just make more of them. That's kind of what he's planning on here. He will drop another tower. He's bringing more Coustilier around. Dark knows he doesn't have an army to protect the Trebs, so he's going for the gates and the houses. Here, Dark has to fall back with the composite bowmen that have ballistics. The walls is a big play. Walls are a huge play here. Viper loses a lot of his army there. There's no way Dark still has a chance, right? Viper's still not on the way to Imp. Dark does still have 4 relics. He does still have a little bit of gold income, which I guess he doesn't now because of the tower. He's about to be no town center gaming. I would still play on. Like, you're wrecking Viper with the armies. Viper's obviously never going to tap because of how much damage he's done. If Dark wins this with no town centers, just imagine. Viper is getting Burgundian Vineyards, so his farms will bring in some gold now. But, yeah, there's the town center. Okay, so Dark will have a town center again. Viper's castle will eventually fall. Dark needs to take this down, take the tower down, immediately go to Viper's base. No hesitation. Viper's looking for raids. There's no villagers to raid there, Viper. Like, Viper can hardly believe that Dark is only right here. Okay, castle goes down. Guys, I actually think this is winnable. But every composite bowman is so helpful. So needed. Yeah, okay, now Dark can shift villagers onto gold again. Treb probably needs to... All the Trebs need to push Viper's town centers, though. I don't even worry about this tower. Just ignore it and take wood elsewhere. Mighty Bite says this is not winnable. Well, I didn't say who it was winnable for. Obviously, every game is winnable. Got him. I got 36 vills versus 100. You would assume that it's not winnable for Dark. What I meant, though, is I actually think this is winnable for Dark. Where is Viper's MTC? His MTC is there. His MTC is there. Does he have enough military to stop Imperial Age units? I don't know. I am not seeing Cavalier numbers from Viper. It's only the skirms. The skirms are not good enough. This is winnable for Dark, guys. This would be insane. Dark has left his whole base. He's just here in this little bubble, but he's got the relics. He's got the composite bowman. The army is full focused onto Viper's base right now. Viper's villager lead will disappear. I promise you. It will disappear so quickly. They're all back here, soon with no protection. Viper cancels Imperial Age, which is probably the play. He needs full army, and he needs it now. I mean, he was going to lose Imp anyways. But yeah, I think if Viper can get enough Cavalier and clear this, it's just a continuous cycle of having worse army and clearing this. You clear it, you have the economy to make more. Viper's no TC gaming now, but the Cavalier is strong enough. One Trebuchet down, and Viper will just rebuild his TC right there. That's what Viper needed. He needed to clear that. And now, it's still crazy, though. He doesn't really have a lot of gold. He is building a town center over here. Imagine if Dark is able to drop a castle here. Big fight into a forward castle would be crazy. Viper spending all of his gold on army was the right play there, I think. Imp doesn't actually change the situation that much right now. That was a risk. Feels weird, but the composite bowmen need to be respected a little bit more than that. He's got healthy army numbers now. Okay, this is what we've been waiting for. Now it feels like Dark has maybe hit a wall. The difference in eco is significant, and Viper's showing it with the production. He ended up going up to 6 stables and 4 archer ranges. And a Viper will come in from the left side and go for a raid. Dark's probably dead now, down 100 population. But what an interesting game. Again, though, if Viper didn't chop the left side, convert those villagers, build the tower, if he just built this one castle, I really think Dark can win this game. Because once the castle's going up, Dark will just wall behind so the army can never get in. He never takes any of this eco damage. He never gets castle dropped, right? Like, none of that stuff happens. And then he's just pushing Viper's base, or it takes down Viper's castle instantly. But now, because of all that damage, Viper was just able to have a significant enough eco lead where you could take losses and it'd still be okay. Did Viper cancel Imp to make army, or did he cancel Imp because he knew his Imp TC was going to go down? I'm not sure which. But canceling Imp was the right play. When you're behind like this, guys, the last thing you want to do is go backwards, but Dark can't go forwards because Viper's army is there, and Viper is now imping. And Viper's going to bring in Rams as well. Almost 200 population for Viper. Very unique game. And I think Dark is about to lose his castle and his town centers in the middle. No easy way for him to relocate back into his starting base because there's still too much pressure there. And Viper, with 60 military, is going to snag a win. A very important win. One of many wins that he's going to need, because he only got one in the first round. This will mean that Dark is 0-4 as well if he loses this first game. I like the fight from Dark. Was talking to Lewis about it yesterday. Every win matters. The score, considering the population we see, is relatively close. Just fight. Just fight. But he's surely going to tap at some point here. Viper's still repairing this. Viper will send some Coustilier to snipe the Trebs to hold the position again. He's done such a good job at that. Multiple times where he's repaired his castle and just held on. Held the position, which is what the castles do. He will snipe these trebuchets. Might end up losing that town center, but he took down the castle. The Dark's castle here might end up going down, and yeah, Dark, he's going to have to dance his way to the GG here. This is a fun game, though. This is a fun game. The Viper's still not an imp. Dark is going to wait until the castle completes. Dark is killing some vills. Now I kind of understand why viewers might say maybe he should resign, and he does do so. But man, that was a crazy game. What a great job from both, honestly. I think draft-wise, there were 2 things that Dark could have done, or not draft-wise, but like strategy-wise. There are 2 things that he could have done in this game to win, and he basically tried both, considering the matchup. The first one was he wanted to play longsword, but then he lost his man-at-arms. And it was actually the correct play for him to say, let's back off that idea. The second way he could win was exactly what he tried. But man, like, if Viper didn't chop through, I want to go back to when the castle's going up, right? This all happened at around the same time. If it's just this castle and there's no chop through, what happens is, remember, Dark delays this castle first off, so the castle doesn't go up right away. Dark just walls behind this, and all this eco is forever untouched. That means that Dark is in twice as good a spot because he could produce more military, he could produce more trebs. Viper's castle either goes down or Viper's base goes down. I think Dark wins the game, to be honest. But, like, look what stems from Viper coming through the left-hand side. He comes in, he converts the vills. The knights run in immediately after. He then builds the tower. Dark has to drop the church. Dark has idols everywhere. That's all because of the cut on the left side. And then Dark sent villagers out for the tower. I mean, all of this because of that cut. That was sick. And then, of course, Dark couldn't wall behind the castle, and then Viper was able to send more in, and then Viper comes to the middle and snipes the Treb. It was all a consequence of that. What a great play from Viper being creative there. And, yeah, the composite bowman, fast bracer, trebuchet play was very strong. Viper had great upgrades on his units. Dark still had a great KD, but he just didn't have the economy in the end. Viper goes for Aztecs on Coast Arena game number 2. What is Viper cooking up? This is Dark's home map. Reminder, live standings. Viper has 2 wins. Dark has 0 wins. And this map is a combination of arena and a water map. So you've got the water on the outside, and then you've got the arena aspect in the middle. I think Viper's going to be planning on monks because he's using his eagle right now to bring in his boar, which is a nice little detail to help with villager efficiency. Obviously, the eagle is going to be weak, but if you're going to make a monk anyways, or you could heal it up inside the town center a little bit, I guess. Normally, that's an indicator Viper will be going for monks. I tested this map. I talked to players about this map. I've seen a lot of different games in both silver, gold, and platinum. I still don't fully understand what the best play is on this map. This would be Dark's map, and when he played it in the first round, he got transport rushed. Like, his opponent, who was also playing in the yellow, it was Mihai, transported man-at-arms and archers and attacked him when he was playing as the Turks. So I could see Dark just doing the same thing to Viper now. And what do you guys think, if you were to guess a percentage, what is the likelihood that Viper did not watch the Dark and Mihai games? As Dave likes to say, I think there's a non-0% chance. Like, I think there's a solid chance that maybe Viper didn't look through them. You think he would maybe spend 10 minutes just to see what the openings were, just to see what he played. But there's a non-0% chance that he maybe doesn't know what happened there. There's a non-100% chance, I guess is the way to say it, yeah. But I think if you go heavy pressure on land and give up water on this map, you can find some huge success because the golds and the stones are always fixed on the front. But I still think maybe Viper should do a combination of water. I think if you fully lose water, you're then only on gold. You're then only making monks. If you're only making monks, the player with water could go like Kev against those monks in theory. Viper's not really a player. I say this after the first round against Vivi was pretty crazy, but Viper's not really a player who typically skips economy, which would mean he's not going to want to give up on the water here. If you do get pushed off the forward gold, which is kind of tough for both players, they have very nice gold. But if you do get pushed off the forward gold, there are oysters, and that's 1,800 gold along your shoreline, so you do have gold there. That was a fun opening round. A fun opening game. Raxa and Almo, thank you so much. Ragnar, welcome back. Moby, Josh, Peas, or Pies? Is it Pies or Peas? P-E-I-Z. Either way, thanks for the support. Really not a fox. All good. Thanks for the 14 months. Happy to distract you. He said, thank you for distracting us from real life. Well, in my case, Age of Empires is my life, so I'm, not really distracting for me. It's just the way I live, but yeah, I get it. What's up, Raxus? Is glad to be here. You're awesome. Oh, thank you. Also, hello, everyone. Is there anyone new watching on YouTube that's never watched a live stream before? If so, speak up. I don't have a first-time chatter notification there, so I don't know if I could verify that. On Twitch, if someone chats for the first time, there's a little pop-up that says this person's new. Like, Raxa just subbed. First time he chatted on the channel, which is pretty cool. Dark has built these, he has built these houses in a way that would keep him safe if he were to get rushed like he did in round 1. So that's a smart adaptation, and they're both up at very similar times here. And Dark is going to do it, guys. He's using the same strat that happened to him with the same sieve that Mihai used. Is Viper showing any signs of being aware of this? Viper almost feels like it's a fast castle for him. But Dark is going to go 3 militia. He only has 2 right now. So honestly, the builds could be way more streamlined. But I think this villager is going to hop into the transport. He's going to bring his scout over and head over to Viper's base to get some land pressure. You know what's funny? Viper might not loom. You would loom if you got pressured, but because the pressure is coming in so late from Dark, Viper might click up to Castle Age before getting loom. Let's see. Viper should queue 2 villagers. And then he's going to build the blacksmith in the market. Dark is waiting. Like, this is a late build. The pressure could come in faster, but it being late might benefit him. Viper queues 2 vills. Blacksmith market. Oh, this is dude, this is gonna be so good for Dark. I'm trying to do the math. I'm horrible at math. But at least in this case, I think Dark being late to the pressure is gonna benefit him. Let's see. Blacksmith market. Viper will have the perfect amount of food and gold to click up the castle. He will not think he needs loom. And he clicks up. So now he's loomless. And he's going to have man-at-arms, potentially archers in his base. There's also going to be some galleys and fires from Dark to come pressure. Here comes Dark. The only way you could get loom is you'd have to cancel Castle Age, which is horrible. So you really don't want to do that. Where will Dark pressure, I wonder? And what does Viper see? If he looks there, he could see that. But is he even expecting it? I don't know. Like, there's some precedent. This has happened. Dark needs to run around. Viper doesn't see it. Okay, he sees it now. But guys, no loom. And if the archer range completes and archers come out, this could be very strong here for Dark. There's the archer range. Viper, I guess, can Q loom. He still hasn't. Viper dropped the barracks. I think he wanted to go eagles. He wanted to go monks to take the relics in the middle. No villagers down for Viper yet. And honestly, not a very big navy follow-up from Dark either. But that will happen eventually. Archer range will complete. This is some nice pressure on the Viper. But, to be honest, like, the Viper no loom situation is kind of funny, but he hasn't been punished by it. Imagine if Dark's pressure would have come in faster. He'd have that much more time. He also didn't scout any of this. These villagers are all exposed, and he just doesn't know. And Viper's going to hit Castle Age. Viper will have a barracks with eagles. Dark's villagers exposed. He wasn't expecting the eagles. So the tower should be denied. The villager should go down. Archers might not make sense. Dark notices a little late. Pulls the man-at-arms away to save her. She's dead. Viper's up. Can't forget about the fish. The fish are really important here. That could be worse for Dark. He's had 6 fishing ships behind this. Dark will move over this way. Viper still has not queued loom. Viper forgot loom, dude. He forgot loom. And he's going to remember that he doesn't have loom very quickly because the villagers are dying extremely fast. That's 1 villager down. That's 2 villagers down. Loom, Viper! Loom, dude. Oh my god. I just recorded my new Zero Elo Uncle episode. My uncle's having that problem. So now my uncle will feel better because Viper's having the same issues. Oh man, I mean, that's 3 villagers down, and now all of his fish are going down. I know Dark lost the Vill, and he'll lose the man-at-arms underneath the TC, but this is fine. This is completely fine. Viper will have no fishing eco. Viper's down a couple Vills. Now Viper needs to pressure. All the signs are there that you need to pressure quickly. And so I'd like to see an immediate Siege Workshop for Viper, to be honest. Siege Workshop in the middle, Eagles, Monks, and getting into Dark space, and this game gets crazy. Dark's done the right thing. I think the Archer's a waste at this point. He's finding the rest of Viper's fish. I'd like to see Dark actually add fish. Viper is nothing on water. You could go up to like 12 fishing ships here. And Dark's going to stone. Will Viper see that? Viper's looking around. Viper sees the stone. Yeah, all the stone and gold is always fixated on the front on this map. That was intentional because I thought about the game flow. And we wanted it so the guy who won water would potentially be pushed by the faster Castle Age player. This is the dream for me. When you script a map and you try and envision how a meta is going to be on a map, I've got my opinions, of course. But I'm not always right on that. You don't know. I also wonder if Viper recognizes the gold should be fixed on the front. Because if so, he should be looking for that. I think he sees the stone and he'll be happy to pressure there. Okay, Dark is on the way up. Remember, if Dark runs out of gold, he can still take the oysters in the back. That is something he needs to remember. He's built a new dock over here for more efficient fishing. I'd love to see crazy fishing eco for him. There's no reason not to. Aztecs get 33% more gold per relic. Viper has food eco, and he's getting the relics with the Aztecs. So the food and gold is good. Viper has loom now, and he's about to beat into Dark space. And Dark has loom. But this is not the play, Dark. Your wall's gone, dude. Too late. Too late. Viper's in. Get ready, folks. This is crazy. Dark has to leave the stone. These Eagles have 7 base attack. He has no army here. He is adding Man-at-Arms in a panic. He's housed. Man-at-Arms is good against the Eagles, but Man-at-Arms against Monks is also really bad as well, so you might need a combination. Oh, man. This is so good. Castle Age will probably come in for Dark, but even that was close. Dark will probably lose his town center, though. Viper needs to take that TC down. Here comes Viper. Oh, man, dude. This is wild. Imagine if Viper pushed a little faster there. Okay, Dark goes to save the TC. He'll garrison his vills. He has the Man-at-Arms there. He might need to use the villagers to attack the rams. So much army from Viper, though. And so many monks. Dark needs that TC to stay up. Because if the TC is gone, then the monks can just convert everything. They can convert all the Man-at-Arms. Still no longsword upgrade for Dark, which is what I want. Viper's monks are going to die to the town center fire. He loses one of them. The other one's still there, though. Town center's still getting eaten. Viper's still adding eagles. Viper still is, like, no water control. But he has all the gold, and he's getting the relics, and the town center will go down. Dark needs to wait for longsword. I love the patience. It is a really uncomfortable position, but you need to have the patience and just wait for the longsword upgrade. You cannot be fighting before that. It's actually fine. Give Viper a conversion now. But man, what a crazy game. Viper needs more monks. Monks are going to be the key now. You can't be getting anywhere close to these longswords. And Viper will know this. Viper should add another monastery. He's shifting to stone now. Yeah, he's got 2 monasteries producing the monks. Big engagement. Viper's also added a scorpion. As a nice initial engagement from Viper. Look at the micro from Dark there, though. He pulled back the weak longsword. Longswords eat the eagles. But Dark doesn't have a town center. Dark's still up against the scorpion. There will be more monks here. Viper with some quick walls. Oh, but the longswords so far seem like they're good enough. Viper doesn't have the monk numbers. The scorpion goes down. The eagles are all going down. And town centerless Dark has 70 pop and Viper sitting at 42. Okay, but now that it's only monks, you really need to consider going for another unit. When there was eagles, you needed the longsword, but now you need light cav. Because Aztec monks are no joke. Now, these conversions are adding up. This can swing very quickly. Also, Dark needed to re-wall that. He didn't have a chance to. I think this game is still winnable for Viper. It's not like he has 0 food eco. He still has the potential to castle drop Dark's face. And he's got monks that are just going to regain faith and get conversions again. Viper might be fine. Viper can also see the gold right there. Like, he's on stone. Those villas are going to come. And that castle's going to go up. There's nothing Dark could do if Viper's getting the proper conversions. I think that's the key. Dark's still redocking. Dark is going to transport some villagers around for something. No clue what that's for, but he's going to do it anyways. Monks are just so strong here. 2 more long swordsmen switch sides. Here comes Viper with the villagers. What a great job from Viper to just have continuous follow-up, right? The Eagles, the Rams, and now the Monks, and now the Castle. That's a crazy time. Dark is going to have no town center in his base soon. He can't stop this. And now here comes Dark. Again, no clue what he's going to do with those 3 villagers. Would be kind of funny to see him town center drop Viper. But it's only 3 vills, so maybe he goes for a siege workshop. He's dropping a barracks there. All right. Well, Dark can take golds on the oysters. There's only 600 gold left on the oysters, though. Oh, he's going to go to the middle. Of course. That's the only other thing you can do. And Viper didn't see the escape. Maybe he just saw that vill. I think he just saw that vill. But he didn't see the wall delete. Dark is making a run for it. And Viper's like, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Where did you go? Dark is town centering Viper's side right now. And he is going to start a push with longswords too. What on earth is that? And then here comes Viper looking for him. He didn't see the villagers. He sees the longsword. Now he'll see the mining camp. So now he knows. Losing the scorpions isn't too horrible for Viper. I really think it's just all about the monks. That's a lot of longswordsmen for Dark. And Dark, he might lose a couple villagers here. Over here, we'll see if his town center actually completes. That is a wild town center. Did Viper just waste all of his conversions on vills, though? I mean, he converted a lot of vills. He's making some jags over here. He's running away here. His monks now need to get away. And Dark needs to re-wall it. Dark, wall it. That's your wall. Wall, wall, wall. Gates. Viper's monks can't get to the castle. Viper will lose all of his monks. Viper maybe didn't go for the correct play there. I don't know what's the correct play. Converting the vills felt like a good move. But he can't save his monks now. What a great trap there from Dark. All these monks will go down. Meanwhile, the town center for Dark is, I think, going to be denied. This is complete chaos, man. Viper is 1 on food. Dark is 2 on gold. So it's a goldless game and it's a foodless game. Who wins? Who knows? There's still these vills for Dark to sneak up a town center. If Dark could get into Viper's base right now, somehow it'd be sick. Remember, what we're not seeing in easily one of the best games of Titans League so far, by the way. What we are not seeing is we are not seeing that Dark has the fish, right? Like, that fish is keeping him in the game. He's way behind in vills, but the fishing eco is strong. A town center got denied. That was ambitious. Viper's going to lose one of his relics there. And Viper is now sneaking back onto the water. That is an excellent play from the snake. He understands. This castle for Dark is nice because it gives him protection over that gold. But he will need a town center there. And he does need to remember where these other villagers are. At least Dark has gold, though. So he'll have food, and then he'll have gold. Oh, God, his woodline, his woodline, his woodline. The Jags are in. The Jags are in. There's a feast for the Jags on the woodline, and Dark doesn't see it, guys. Dark doesn't see it. Think about where Dark needs to look. He needs to look at every shoreline. He needs to look at Viper's base. He needs to look in his own base here, and here, and here, and here, and here. That could be a game-ending raid from Viper. A transport ship is looping around to save those villagers, but it might be too late. This is a ridiculous game, and Viper is coming back on water. We have the War Galley upgrade now. He will start to snipe the fishing ships, and Dark just loses everything there. What a great job from Viper. I know the no loom start was a little weird. That was a mistake, but what great recognition from him to just pressure immediately on land after losing the water. That's why I said I'm not really sure what's best on this map right now, which is why many players are banning it. Because I think, like, most people are always going to win water in high-level AoE2. But if you do that against someone who properly pressures with monks and siege, you could have these problems. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Viper with the forward dock demo clears up the longswords. And now the Jags are going to be the cherry on top. Kills the rest of it. And GG, what a game from Viper. My goodness. Wow, that was crazy. Are you not entertained, people? That was ridiculous. This is the first time this season where I will say, if you enjoyed this on the main YouTube channel, please check out the full series. The first game was also pretty crazy. We'll have a third game. I'm also going to be covering Titans League for the next month. I'm also live streaming it on YouTube. This is going to the main YouTube channel. We'll have the full series in the description for the extras channel. Damn, what a cool map concept. I'm thinking through it. What more could Dark have done? Obviously, I think losing those Vills was the killer blow. So keeping those Vills alive is an obvious key. But, like, could Dark have done anything different with his approach? I think the earlier builds could have hit Viper faster. That was very late compared to what I have seen, but it's a very difficult build to manage. And I think maybe beyond that, maybe after the initial wave of longswords get the clear up, then he needs to switch to light cab. I actually think that's the main thing that comes to mind for me. We'll go back to that state of the game. Let's just take a quick look at it. So you clear this. I think if in this moment he goes for 2 stables and he cancels the rest of the longswords and goes full light cav, I think then Viper has issues. Because Viper can't really make eagles anymore. But that's so tough because he does no TC at that point. Like, he still needs to add fish. It's just such a weird map to play. It's so difficult. And it was well played from Viper. Wow. Viper gets 2 wins here. He would love to get a third. Dark will need to snag a win. Still just fully defeated this season. 77 kills, 60 deaths for Viper. There's the eco difference. Viper with tons of relic gold with the Aztecs. All the Sona gold coverage. Just didn't have the food. And it didn't matter. All right. So Viper's looking good. Viper with 2 wins now in this series. Would love to get the 3-0. I think if he gets the 3-0, everyone's going back to thinking Viper's going to be top of this group. But, you know, we'll still see. We have a lot of games to play, but at least when it comes to Dark, maybe this is more important. He got swept the first round. Now he's lost 2 games. I think for survival for Dark, he's going to want 1 win here. Unfortunately for him, this is Viper's home map. Viper's gone for the Georgians, as if he's very comfortable with. And Dark has gone for the Dravidians. I think the Dravidians is very strong. Yesterday I was casting with Memb. And Memb was complaining about the Dravidians. He was like, "What? Why do people pick the Dravidians?" And then the Dravidians just won. And the Dravidians look very good. And as I said to Memb in the cast, their opening is insanely strong on hybrid maps. One of the best civilizations for it. Better fishing economy, the additional wood they receive, the cheaper barracks technologies. All this is streamlined for a map like this to go man-at-arms and archers and take the water. But if this goes late, it's a pretty open map. There's a lot of things to look at on this map. There's many different directions you have to go. That is bad for the Dravidians because they are slow. They're infantry and they're archer. So, and I'm not trying to be critical or school Memb, as someone in YouTube chat said. It's just funny to me because, like, I actually like the Dravidians as a civ because from a balance perspective, they're very good at what they do, but they're also very weak in some areas. I like civs like that. In Viper's case, Dravidians are a little predictable in that, so I think Viper will at least understand that he needs to brace himself for the early pressure and then just survive. And Georgians are awesome for the start because of the mule cart. They're not necessarily a civ you would think about for man-at-arms, but they could do it themselves. So maybe that could be Viper's plan. Play man-at-arms to open, trade against the army from the opponent, and then just adapt from there. What's up, Iron Chef? Thank you. And congratulations. Congrats. Carol, thank you for the 25. Ultimate Raccoon, thank you for the 6 months. Guys, sometimes there's a game you see, and it's just like, oh, yes, that was it, you know? This is what we're here for. And that previous game definitely felt like that. I think that is also why so many people are banning that map. We haven't seen it played that frequently. But I think come playoffs, once we get to best of 5s and best of 7s, that map will be... It's less likely that map will be banned. Right now, if you don't want to play a closed map, you're either banning Bypass or banning Coast Arena. A lot of bypass bans have come in, but then there haven't been many people who want to play Coast Arena because it's too ridiculous for them. I think it's a good map for Viper, though. I think it's a really good map for Viper. And Aztecs was a great choice to give up water. If you lose water, you want to be playing with the civilization that goes gold units. Eagles cost very little food and mostly gold, and then monks are, of course, full gold. So Aztecs were a good civ to deal with that. And fishing ships for Viper. There is no dock for Dark right now? Excuse me? Wait, what? What is this? No dock for Dark. I just kind of assumed it was out there and I could talk about everything else. If you do not dock, you need to kill extremely quickly because Viper will have fishing eco and you will not. That is 3 additional workers for Viper. And for the potential for that to be 7 or 8. You know what I think this could be from Dark? Well, no. Okay, he's going to go for a barracks. He sees that Viper's docked. This is not a build that I would advise. I don't think there's a big reason why Dravidians would do this. I mean, their economy flows so nicely with the dock. Getting the pop space from your dock is a big reason why you will always see the dock with the Dravidians. Maybe this is a sign that this is just not a clean build from Dark, not a comfort zone map for him. And I don't know if he's been playing as actively as he was last season. He can be kind of hit or miss. He's still going for what we expected. He wants to do a combination of land and water, but he's docking very late. And Viper will see that. Viper's going to be like, huh? Viper might actually think that's his second dock. I don't like skipping the dock as Dravidians, unless you go for some crazy pressure. To be honest, you know what I would prefer over this? Because now Viper could just adapt to this and to hold and still have an advantage. If you're going to do this, I think just go full land, go forward, double archery range, man-at-arms. Try and end the game in the first couple minutes. Neens, welcome. Says, hi, T90. Hope you're having a good day and had a nice Valentine's Day. Hey, thank you very much. I'm having a great day and had a nice Valentine's Day. So you guys helped with that because I streamed yesterday. But obviously you weren't the most important person in my life on Valentine's Day. Let's not get too crazy. And here comes the militia. Viper, he did not pre-scout that at all. He did not pre-scout that. I think he should have expected it and maybe had things pre-walled, but he didn't. He gets the quick wall in, though. Dark is just going to pile on the pressure, get arson, and focus down that mule cart. So Viper will have to repair the mule. Another dock coming from Dark to pressure the water at the same time. And the mule cart goes down for Viper. I don't think he expected that. Viper being off of gold influences his ability to make archers and fire ships. That's the key here. Viper wanted to do both. Now he might not be able to. Dark already has one fire on the way and a second fire follow-up, and he's adding a fishing ship, which, again, the order is very odd. But at least he got some early pressure in. He's moving over to Viper's wood line. Archer range is behind this. You can still move down here for food. We don't see it a lot, but that's something Dark might want to consider. I think Viper, the way he walled there, is confusing Dark. He doesn't know about the big walls. And Dark, with some good micro here. Very good micro. Very good pressure. The opening is maybe a little bit suspect just based on the Civ bonuses. Oh, man, he almost kills Viper's scout, but doesn't get the kill. And Viper's Georgians. And Dark is... It looked like he wanted to go kill that thing. In the end, Dark hasn't done any eco damage to Viper yet. It maybe is about to, though, take him off of water. And he's keeping Viper in his base. If he clears the fish, if he takes the fish out, or at least if Viper's not fishing very efficiently, it's close. But still no double bid axe for Dark. Having some food issues at home. And Viper is walled. Viper's in an adaptable situation here. Still does feel like Viper's just... I haven't seen a very clean build here from him. I think you could tell how locked in a player is based on their scouting. The fact that he was surprised at all by the man-at-arms was a little surprising to me. The fact that he's like no longer on any gold right now is a little interesting to me. I guess he's just completely giving up water, which could mean Dark could have 6 to 8 fishing ships soon. Did Dark see the stable? Okay, Dark seeing the stable is super important. So now he knows Viper's adding scouts and he can't advance forward with the skirms. And Dark's eco is looking a little rough. He's not fully walled yet, but he could wall this way eventually. And he knows exactly what Viper's going to be adding in against him now, and he should probably just play defense. The berries are looking very exposed. But if he plays full archers here, I'd actually really like to see double archer range right now, but some people would disagree with that. Just holds the line. He's got the fishing eco with the Dravidians. Viper's scout slowly regenning with the Georgians. That'll scout the map and probably boost his score. And he'll have other scouts coming in. Viper getting housed here. Villager's still standing around in his base a little bit, but lots of focus on the micro. Neither player having fletching yet. But that should come in. Should be coming in very soon. There's the blacksmith for Dark. But Viper's won 2 games. Some things have looked a little awkward for him in these games, but I just really feel like the confidence has to be sky high for him right now. And when he's got this much control at his opponent's base, he's never going to feel anything but confidence. Dark has 0 farms. I know he has 4 fishing ships, but he has not transitioned into any farms, and now he doesn't have the berries. Viper is in a great spot here. The walls will still continue this way. Walls will still continue this way, but that is a big wall off you have to go for. And Viper's just going to take a look just to see. Oh, he's also adding a demo, I think, hunting for the fishing ships. If he positions it perfectly, he could get all 4. This would be huge. Oh, he gets 2. It's kind of tough there when they're in a straight line like that, but that's good for Viper. Because that's Dark's advantage right now is the fish. And now he needs to add more. Look at the difference on food. 12 on food for Viper, 5 on food for Dark. Dark will have to ship back to the berries now. Still no farms. Still not a crazy amount of fish. Viper's got the farms. Viper's got the berries. Viper's got the walls. Viper's got the vills down here too. Viper is pretty much playing this like a home map. And now the scouts loop into the wood line as well. And I just do not think Dark can keep up with Viper. And maybe Dark just can't keep up with Platinum this season. Again, it's kind of wild, but like, Dark was top 4 in the previous season. He beat Viper in the group stage. He went 4-1 in the sets. He went to the playoffs. He beat Mr. Yo and he beat Tato and then lost to, I think, Leary in a semifinal. But a year changes a lot, and that might have been one of Dark's best runs ever. We know he has the level, but doing it every single time is always going to be tough. And this will put Viper right back into the front runner conversations in the group if he can snag the win. And honestly, it's looking super good for him right now. Dark has no choice but to chase this. He can never counterattack. And Viper's resources are looking smooth behind this to click up to Castle Age. Viper's got a decision to make. I don't think you have to come back on water, but I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it 2 sneak docks on the shoreline to try and just take out the fish. Because that's the only advantage Dark has right now. Dark will know he's behind to castle, so he'll use the market to try and click up. Has done a nice job considering the circumstances. I mean, hasn't lost many villagers here. Will probably eventually trade against this army, but it's just taking so much time. Sometimes it's not even about what you kill. It's about what you do with your army to distract your opponent and how much you use that time. Having this many farms, having the walls where Viper's placed them, dropping the stables now, all this is because this army's back here. And against the Dravidians, this is where people will say Dravidians are bad, right? Because when you fall behind with Dravidians, you have a very one-dimensional situation. Everyone knows what you're going to do. So it's always going to be like crossbow, pikemen, and siege. The occasional longsword, I suppose. But you can't go knights, for example. So Viper could play heavy into skirms and be completely fine, probably. Dark needs Castle Age right now. He's got a massive eco. He's adding the fish. But he needs to be in Castle Age. If he can get to Castle Age, and with this army count, this could be good for him. His population's insane. Viper's micro has looked really nice. Nice pickoffs there. Only loses 1 archer. And Viper, when he's in Castle Age, could drop the monastery. Or I guess the fortified church. Think about getting some relics, maybe. Drop the second town center to gain a villager lead. And Dark's got so many villagers on that fruit bush. That's a bad sign when you've got 8 villagers on a fruit bush with 25 food at one farm. That's so annoying. He's got 799 food. There we go. He drops off some food somewhere and clicks up. Let's see. Elite skirm for Viper. That's the issue for Dark right now. Because he's going full archers and he's still 2 minutes away from Castle Age. So he's just completely countered. Also, he tried to get it. He tried to get the wall, and Viper gets in with the light cav too. And Dark taps out. I know his population's really high, but this is never going to look good for him. The light cav are going to be in. The archers are still chasing. He's still 2 minutes away from Castle Age. His gold will be ranged, and he'll lose things here. And, yeah, just Viper bounces back. 3 wins. I do think Dark played well today, but I think there's just some tiny details that I have to be critical of with Dark. I think we've seen the exact build he went for in Coast Arena work very well and hit a minute or 2 faster. If he hit Viper a minute or 2 faster with the build, maybe he wins that game. And then in this game, I guess he did end up winning the water, but I just don't feel as though that is the way to play it. I would have preferred to see the early dock there from the Dravidians. I can't think of a reason why not. And then, of course, game number 1. Game number 1 was on Quarry. I think that was just some Viper magic. There was a lot of Viper magic today, to be honest. But Armenians on Quarry also feels kind of rough, having lost that game there. So, Dark, top 4 in Titans League Season 4. Now 0-6 in Titans League Season 5. Crazy.